Welcome to this MOOC course on the World Cup. Our emphasis today is on referees. Referees are the third team in every single match. It starts at youth and goes all the way to the World Cup. So how are referees selected for the World Cup? That is one thing that we will cover and share with you. We will also share with you some of the laws of the game, how they've derived and how they contribute to a world game, not one that is different from country to country, but how there's unanimity across the world. In addition to that, we'll share with you some information on referee development. What does it take to become a World Cup referee? What does it take to be recognized as the best of the best in your nation, to represent your nation as a referee in the world game? As you watch the competition at the World Cup, you may ask the question, what are the laws of the game and how were they derived? For example, many of us will say that the laws of the game are really easy, that this is a game where there are only 17 rules. 17 rules that define everything from the dimensions of the pitch all the way to what constitutes a goal score or when a player needs to be sanctioned. An interesting did you know fact is the yellow and the red card. Two simple ways of managing players. But did you know the evolution of this came from a president of FIFA who was trying to figure out how to slow the game down when players needed to be sanctioned. While caught in a traffic jam, he noticed the traffic light. And so we have the evolution. The yellow card as a cautionary, the red card as a major stoppage where a player has to be removed from the match. Did you know, for example, that throughout the world's game, the match regulation time is the same throughout the world? 45 minutes per half, 15-minute intermission, 90 minutes total of playing. If tied at the end of regulation, you go into extra time, and if tied after 2 extra time periods, you go to shots from the mark. These regulations are the same throughout the world, except, however, when you have different ages. Younger children, for example, will play shorter halves. This is because they don't have the physical development and also because it is a developmental game. It's used as an opportunity to develop players to move to the world stage. The 17 laws of the game are also consistent throughout the world. As spectators, most people will yell handball, but according to the laws of the game, there is no such thing. There is a law of the game called handling, which has very specific criteria of what constitutes when a player plays the ball with their hand, which is the only part of the body that is illegal to play in soccer. In addition, the offside call is one of the easiest yet most complicated laws of the game. It determines when a player can legally be in an offside position and not actively be engaged in the play. It is legal to be in an offside position. It is illegal, however, to play the ball from an offside position. These are some issues that we will go into more detail in future modules, but this is intended to simply be an overview and to give you an idea of what we will cover in this module.
Welcome to the referee module of the MOOC on the World Cup. In this module, we're going to talk about referees. We will talk about the history of officiating, what happened at the beginning of soccer. The fact is that there was no referee. However, now we have possibly up to 7 referees on the field. We will also talk about the history of referees themselves. In other words, how do they start? What do they do? If they want to referee a professional league games, then what do they have to do in order to get there? If you want to be a World Cup referee, what do you have to do? You will be studied, you will be examined, and you will be analyzed throughout your career. We will also talk about fitness. We know that referees run anywhere between 6 to 8 miles per day. Sometimes their heart rate hits 180 per minute. Probably you know that when you're running so hard, you may start to feel dizzy. You may not be able to think straight. So fitness is extremely important. Every few months, referees go through very strict fitness tests. Their health is monitored, and their food intake and water intake are also monitored. Another topic that we're going to discuss is technology. We now know that at this World Cup, we have the goal line technology used. But there are some that argue that there should be more. For example, should there be video replay? Or should there not be? These questions could possibly allow us to think about the role of referees in sports. Did you know that referees at the World Cup in 2010 were able to make their calls right 92% of the time. Or did you know that referees have to retire at the international level at age 45? They may be able to run very fast for a long distance, but once you hit 45, you have to retire. We will also talk about the philosophy part of soccer officiating. Sometimes we say that technology is good. Sometimes we say technology should be out of sports. At this World Cup, we have the goal line technology, which allows referees to know when the ball crosses the goal line between the goalpost and under the crossbar completely. This may be very helpful, but some will say that they wish they had video replay technology. If referees are athletes whose human skills must be valued, then probably technology is not a good thing. However, if we look at referees as tools of judgments, then technology may be helpful. Therefore, we can connect sports, officiating, and technology to think of something philosophical about our favorite sports.